to you, your own needs, your desires, what makes you happy, and not thinking about what the other person feels like. But we need to understand that, just to add on to what Favor said, there's some parts of selfishness where it's good, but it has to be portrayed in that manner. So you have what is the healthy part of selfish interest, or in other words, the unhealthy side, right? And just to add on from episode 1, I think Malundi had mentioned that before you can love someone, you need to love yourself. And that is where we derive self-care.
Patience.
Another very vital characteristics of love is what? Is sacrifice.
Yep, sacrificial love.
So
Sacrificial
even
love.
if I come into the relationship with my selfishness, anybody comes into the relationship with their selfishness, because I have to nail that on the cross. I have to sacrifice that selfishness on the cross.
Yes, sir.
And become Christ-like. I feel like preaching right now.
Come on.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Hub of Truth, and we're here back again in our studio today to talk about the contemporary understanding of love and how it has affected the longevity. This is the episode 2. Last time we did with what we understand by love, how we understand how love can be appreciated. We talked about understanding, we talked about self-care, we talked about selflessness. We elaborate so much and we ended on selfishness, and today we want to expand on that. Selfishness in relationship. Is it good to be selfish in relationship? The impacts of selfishness in relationship and the advantage of selfishness in relationship. And I have several of the hosts and a special guest in our midst today that we're going to be expounding on the meaning of selfishness, the importance of selfishness, the effect of selfishness. Is it good for we to have selfishness in a relationship, and how has selfishness affected our relationship? And I'm going to start from my right, starting with Brother Precious, for him to expound on the effect, or is it important to have selfishness in relationship? So Brother Precious, welcome on the studio today. What's your take on this selfishness in relationship?
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here again, and we're going to be doing this more often, I believe. Straight to the topic, selfishness in a relationship. In my opinion, I think based on the topic, I understand the concept. However, I would like to say that the idea that we could use the word selfishness in a relationship doesn't really sit well with me, because for me, I feel like the moment you are selfish, especially if we're speaking for the truth of love, the moment there is a form of per se much more on, because when they say selfishness, they are saying a word that means someone who lacks consideration of other people, someone who doesn't put into their own thought process how the other person is going to feel about a thing. So for me, if you're saying selfishness in a relationship, I feel like number one, it will affect the longevity of the relationship in the first place. Number two, I feel like the moment there's selfishness in a relationship, you may not be able to mold and break like you should in a relationship to become who you need to be for that person, and for that person to be who they need to be for you. Because the truth is, if I'm saying selfishness, it means I'm putting my own personal whatever, like I said the last time about goals and opinions becoming one. So meaning, if I have 20 rand in my hands and you have 30 rand in your hand, selfishness would make me say I'd rather put down 5 rand because I have a project of 15 rand. I'd rather put down 5 rand for us to eat and then work on my 50 rand. But if I have 20 rand with me and you have 10 rand with you, selflessness will make us both bring that money together, break it, and then actually look at what is the project and see what is the priority that will help both of us. But if I am to look at the exact words of selfishness, meaning lacking consideration for the other person, I feel like it might affect the relationship.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Okay, I'm going to start my point, or to buttress further my point, with the definition of selfishness. Okay. So selfishness is an excessive or exclusive self-concern. Excessive or exclusive self-concern, when in the whole thought process, in the whole consideration, it's about yourself, what you're going to gain, or what is going to, how it's going to benefit you. Now, let's take for an instance, if you see a lady and you ask her out and you're interested, you meet her and say you're interested. What is your interest? At that point, the interest you have, is it for her benefit or is for your benefit? Because when we say selfish interest, we think it's a statement that totally annihilates benefiting the next person. No. Like I said, it's an exclusive. Put in context, exclusive. That means it is you first before the person. So when you ask this person out, you have perceived a personal benefit that is making you ask. Either you like the person, there's something you like about that person, and to you it appeals something in you or about you. It has appeased something about you, or it has appeased something in you. So that's why you went for this person. Because if somebody does not appease you, does not interest you, you won't go for the person. Now, the thing, if that person does not interest you, so it's still selfish. Okay? From the word go, it is selfish. Now, from the book of First Samuel, I think chapter 18, verse 26, where the king said that anybody that is able to kill Goliath, the king is going to give him part of his kingdom and then reward the person with his daughter. At first, David did not want that for himself, but the Bible says when the servant told David these things, he thought to himself that he would become the king's in-law. Benefit, selfish interest. So there's something that triggered his interest in marrying the king's daughter. His benefit. At the end of the day, he married the king's daughter, and nobody said that that interest was wrong. There was something on the table. The king, as a matter of fact, presented something that should be an interest, that should be considered selfish to David, and that's what motivated David to marry the daughter. Now the same thing happened with Jacob. Jacob labored for Rachel, but he was given Leah, right?
Yeah.
He labored another 7 years before Rachel was given to him, and the Bible says because he loved Rachel, he was willing to go extra 7 years. Now I want to ask from this point, is loving somebody also a selfish interest? Or is not loving somebody a selfish interest? Because somebody can be in a relationship with you and not love you. Right? Now they are there for that selfish interest. Okay. The house is calm. All right. So what I'm saying in all sense is we need to be able to differentiate what I also want us to elaborate now. We need to also be able to differentiate selfish interest and the essence of a thing. Again, I say, you went to school for what? For a selfish interest. Because you want to be educated, it's exclusive to you. Because you want to have a degree, it is exclusive to you. But that is the essence of education. I'm buttressing the point where I say you should be able to differentiate between selfish interest and the essence of a thing. Sometimes there are things in a relationship, it might look like a selfish interest, but it is the essence of a thing because it's a system that keep that body going. I buttressed earlier on that if you ask a woman out, firstly, it's because you have perceived an interest. And again, to the woman, if a woman or before a woman says yes to you, she has considered, would this relationship benefit me? Would this relationship leave me better than it met me? Will I feel secured in this relationship? Now, security expound on different aspects to a woman. But what I'm saying, they put so many things in consideration before they give you a yes. To you, the yes is beneficial. To them, the yes is beneficial. Are we going to say that is not selfish? I will leave that to our special guest in the house, Mary, to expand on this point and also give us her thoughts. Is it good to be selfish in relationship? What's the meaning and essence of relationship to you, ma'am?
Thank you for having me again, Mary. Firstly, I'm here to advocate for women because there's a lot of men in this podcast, and I would like the inputs to be balanced from both men and women point of view. So just to add on from my understanding, selfishness, or in other words, selfish interest, right? In summary, it's basically thinking of yourself, prioritizing what is important to you, your own needs, your desires, what makes you happy, and not thinking about what the other person feels like. But we need to understand that, just to add on to what Favor said, there's some parts of selfishness where it's good, but it has to be portrayed in that manner. So you have what is the healthy part of selfish interest, or in other words, the unhealthy side, right? And just to add on from episode 1, I think Malundi had mentioned that before you can love someone, you need to love yourself. And that is where we derive self-care.
Yeah.
So to go in depth, a guy approaches a woman, the guy likes the woman, asks the woman out and all that, right? But you need to understand that before you get into a relationship, you need to make sure that you yourself, you're ready for that. There is the selfish part whereby I like this woman. You only intrigued from the physical aspect, but you have not gone in depth to understand what is this woman's character. How will she contribute to me? How will I react to her character? Is it going to be in line with mine? You have in many relationships where, in most cases, the man is what we call the element water, and female is what we call the element fire. Because as women, we are wired through emotions. So we communicate through emotions. Everything we do is emotional. Whereas with men, those emotional part is there, but it's suppressed. So men don't really know how to communicate from an emotional side, but that emotional side is there, but they're not communicating it to a point of where a female would understand. So self-care is very important because you need to work on yourself both physically, emotionally, mentally, and most importantly, spiritually, right? Once you're able to fix all those points in your life, you are able to contribute positively in the relationship, right? Because you coming into that relationship, you need to understand what you're coming into. You're not just coming into because I like the woman, she looks fine, she looks beautiful. No, there's other parts to that relationship that you need to understand and willing to meet her halfway. Whereas if you're looking at it from an unhealthy point of view, you don't care about anyone. You don't care. All you're doing is what is going to benefit you. You're not even thinking about how this person might feel. Even if you don't have that emotional side, you need to be able to understand how to communicate to that person, right? Because communication is key. If you're not communicating, everyone's going to have their own misinterpretation of things and all that. So from a woman, self-care is very important, like I said, because we are very emotional and we always want that reassurance. Not that they don't trust you, but it's because that's how we wired. We want that reassurance every time, every time. And when we engage in self-care, we are able to work on ourselves so that we are able to contribute without any emotional backings. And when I say communication is important, let's be fair, right? As much as we are emotional, men don't understand that. And we can't expect men to understand that. Because as much as a woman is very vulnerable, there needs to be a balance in the relationship, right? So men don't know how to communicate from an emotional side. So we as women, we need to communicate. Because once, and it's important where self-care comes in, when you practice self-care, it also teaches you and your partner how to balance the relationship, right? So you need to come in and communicate. Because you can't expect men, and I'm not supporting men, but it's an understanding and it's a reality. You need to understand that, right? I see Precious is laughing. You need to be able to communicate to your partner, in this case, the male, right? You need to communicate so that he knows the type of person you are. You guys need to communicate your character. Your character. You can't expect one to know that, oh, she's like this. She's very emotional. She's very this. She's very that, right? Even though it's there, we know we're emotional, but you need to communicate so that they know how to relate with you. If there is no form of communication, how then do we expect both parties to communicate? So, yeah, that is my input. I have more, but I'll come back. But yeah.
Thank you so much, Rui. So, talking about communication, understanding a woman's emotion, and you had earlier made mention of something I want to pick up from. You said the main element being a fire, being water, right, and the woman element being fire. So that is talking about our star signs, zodiac signs. So for the Aquarius, they are the waters, and the Leo, Sagittarius, and it's Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. They are the water. Definitely, they need to blend, because when one is hot, the wire quenches or cools down. All right. But what I want to bring from what you just said now, self-care and selfishness, are they the same? I don't think they are the same. Okay. If they are the same, should selfishness or selfish interest be communicated? And self-care, definitely you would or you should communicate to your partner how you want to be cared for, right? How it appears you to be cared for. But my question now, should your selfish interests be communicated? Before I go to Jay, I want Brother Precious to elaborate on these. Should selfish interests be communicated?
All right. Well, I think one of the main things that I'd like to also throw out there, because like before she mentioned about self-care, what came to my mind was self-interest,
Okay.
or we can say self-love.
Okay.
Because we had as a point in the last episode that you have to love yourself first. So by so doing, that originally, or by normal human standard, before I met you, I had plans.
Yeah.
Fact. Male or female. Before I met you, I had goals, male or female. Before I met you, I had things I actually wanted to work on for myself. So now, let's say, for example, because most times, if we're being truthful, the best time love finds you, so to say, is when you're not actually
looking for
it. So, in that point, right, let's say this is what I believe, right? My opinion, nobody should kill me. But I believe that, yes, if we meet, law of attraction is always there. So I can't really call that selfish, because law of attraction is different to everybody. Meaning what I want and what I want to attract, or what I'm trying to attract, is different from what you are trying to attract. Are you getting my point? Like, for example, I'm a dark guy. I'm trying to attract someone light skinned
Mm-hmm.
or a little bit brighter than me, myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And based on normal life,
Would you consider that a selfish interest?
uh,
Would you consider that a selfish interest?
I'll consider that. And yes, I can say that I I can give it as a selfish interest, but I'm not gonna say that at the same time. The reason is because I'm still lying on the fact that the word selfish
Mm.
stands on lack of consideration.
Of the next person.
So the point consideration there is my clause.
Okay.
Hence, I can't use that word because me coming to tell you means I consider you.
Mm.
Fact.
Okay.
You must remember that it takes effort, time, thought process for any man or woman to have a communication with you about something that they are going through
Mm.
or what they want to go through.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I believe that if I come to meet you and I tell you, like you said, I consider, okay, this is what I'm trying to achieve. I want to, in the next 5 years, for example, let's say I met a lady and life story, right? I met a lady, I'm trying to still achieve some certain things personally that are my personal goals. Maybe I want to be a doctor, right? And I'm in my second year of school and I meet a lady that, she meets my normal standards of whatever I might have. Preferences, thank you. And like we say, preferences are not really selfish interest. They're just our own laws of attraction. That's
That
my
was what I
own.
was
That's
expecting
yeah.
to ask you, though.
That's my own opinion. But like in terms of considering someone, I really think that when you have something in your mind and you think that okay, I'm going to work with this person, you're no longer selfish the moment you come and say, "Let us talk." It means I'm trying to gain your opinion. I'm trying to gain what is your idea of what I'm trying to do. For example, you may be an architect as my lady, and I'm a sport person, all right, as your man. And what attracted us to each other is our personal preferences, right? But now, what I want to be is be the best in my art, and that will need me to have time and attention for it. So, for that reason, if I really care, so you notice that you cannot be selfish. Because now at that point, I am going to consider that, oh, for this person's sake, I have something I'm pursuing, but hey, come listen. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's why I say, for me, selfish does not really play. I can say self-interest, good. Self-love, yes. But like, selfish.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for that. All what I've really picked from what you said so far is you're actually avoiding that word selfish, and because for you don't believe in it. Okay, not a problem. Now, what I want to ask is, what is the difference between selfish interest and expectation? All right.
Sure.
Now, expectation is a belief that something will happen or somebody will do something for you. That is the simplest definition of expectation. All right. Now, on the other hand, selfishness is an exclusive um, concern of yourself. Okay. Like you would say, not putting the next person into consideration. I'm still avoiding that word also. Okay. As you're avoiding the word selfishness, I'm avoiding not putting the next person into consideration because that is not my idea
Of it,
of,
yeah.
of selfishness. That's not what I'm driving at. Okay. I disclaimer, I'm not a bad guy. Okay. I'm trying to buttress a point. I really want us to push something because this is a topic that people shy away from.
Yeah.
People don't talk about. People don't own it, yet they are selfish.
Yep.
Extremely selfish. So being bold enough to talk about it, I know it's something I've seen in people, I've seen in their relationship, and it has affected them big time. You see people change relationships, step out of marriage because they are so-called, they put it as expectations, but it's a selfish interest not being met.
Yeah, true.
It is not expectations, it is selfish interest not being met.
Thank you.
Okay? You wouldn't step out of relationship because you have expectations that are not being met. If you have expectation in it will be communicated and the way of getting it done
Yeah.
should be communicated.
True.
So I see that people step out of relationship, out of marriage, because their selfish interest is not being met, and that selfish interest they can't communicate it.
Mm.
Because now if they communicate it, they come out as being bad.
Bad. Yeah.
They're being painted as still selfish. Okay.
I have a question.
Okay. So I'm going to navigate now to my brother Jay. He has not spoken since, but I know he has a lot backed up already to give to me. So brother Jay, what would you say is the difference with expectation and selfishness? And so far in general, what's your understanding of selfishness?
Thank you, brother. Hello, everyone. This is Jay. Um, like they did mention about what it means to be selfish in a relationship, and according to my understanding, I'd say being selfish, it's when you consider what you could benefit or profit from someone, and it wouldn't matter to you what others think or feel, and sometimes it's really more important to like ask yourself this kind of questions before like getting yourself involved to someone in a relationship, like what are their goals in life, long-term goals that would make you determine if this is really the person that you've been actually willing or desiring to be with for the rest of your life, or like the type of a wife material person. And number two would be how do you handle conflicts or agreements in a relationship? I feel like that's really more important to like know those things before you would be in a relationship with someone. It would help you what to prepare and expect in a relationship. And lastly, most importantly, most probably most important to me, um, what are the roles in spirituality or religion does play in their life, because it sets a present foundation. It helps you to determine where this people or that person you've met, they come from, how they've been taught, where they from, and to add on that, the Bible says on Psalms chapter 111, verse 10, fearing the Lord God, it's the beginning of all of wisdom,
Mhm.
a good understanding of all that do His commandments. His praises endures forever. So all and to conclude on that, I want to say it is love is a beautiful thing. It's a really good thing to fall in love and to understand what loves, and love comes from wisdom and understanding wisdom, and where does that come from the word of God, to understand wisdom, and do not waste someone's energy or time or yours as well, but to understand the intention, the pure, genuine intention of before you getting yourself involved to someone. So thank you. That was my opinion.
Right. Thank you so much, brother Jay. Okay. So when I was making a point, Precious said he had a question. Right. I believe it stemmed from all the points that have been made. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's hear you. Give us the questions that you have regarding that.
All right. I think very funny. He touched on it.
Spirituality.
The spirituality of it, and why I say I don't believe in selfishness, or the word, I can't use the word selfishness in love,
Mm.
is because of, maybe let me say, my level of understanding now, right? I would not deny everybody always has that personal reason. Yes.
Selfishness.
Yeah. That personal reason, that strong reason that they may choose to say, oh, this is why I'm pursuing this person. This is, come on, we all know that in a natural ground. For example, any black guy who goes to America and then
Don't say that.
so but we have those normal stereotypes of why either guys marry a lady or a lady marries a guy. Maybe a guy is more richer or stories like that. But however, truth is, this is where my question lies. Can you really say that if we're using of the word selfishness now, right? Lacking consideration for another person. Or rather the way you put it, having an exclusiveness to a certain mindset, right? Scripturally speaking now. Is God selfish in love with you?
Okay. Can I go that?
Yeah.
I would say God is very selfish. Okay. First of all, give us a commandment. Thou shalt not have any other God except me, categorically, emphatically. And he told us with his full chest that he's a jealous God. Very jealous. Okay. So that means, and God can wipe an entire nation because they're not serving him. He said, if you do not praise me, I will raise stones. So that means if you don't love me, you look for another lover.
Okay, let's not go there because you're going to make me have more questions. It's fine.
So from my perspective, God is very intentional in his selfishness. Emphatically selfish in his own interest. He said he makes heaven his abode and the earth his footstool. And he made us understand that our righteousness is like a filter before him. So that means no matter the effort, unless he acclaims that. Okay. So where am I going with this? All to say that emphatically, God is selfish in his love towards us. But then the Bible also says that for God so loved the world that he gave his son. That he gave his son to die for us.
Meaning he considered
What did he consider?
us.
Why did he consider us?
And remember, let's scripturally, he considered us even before we fell into the actual sin we came on earth to fall into.
Why did we fall into sin? Why did he create sin? Would you intentionally see your child fall into fire and allow the fire to burn the child and send a remedy at the end of the day? Would you do that? Send an emergency bus, ambulance. Yeah. Would you do that? What would you call that kind of love? Okay, that's a topic for another day. My question to our special guest, Mary, would be, what's the difference between expectations and selfishness? Is it good for selfishness to be communicated? Is it good for expectations to be communicated? What are the reasons you think people leave relationship? Is it because expectations are not met or selfish interests are not being met?
Okay. Whew. That's a question. Thank you for that question. Okay, firstly, expectation is, from my understanding, expectation is something that you plan to see it come in reality, right? Yes. You plan on it. For example, if your expectation is in the next 5 years to buy a mansion, right? Okay. There are some seeds that you have to put on the ground, right? It's not something you start now. It's something that you plan towards it. You plan hoping, okay, let me not say hoping, because as Christians we need to build our faith. It's something that you plan with faith that it will manifest itself, right? Whereas selfishness and expectation are two different things. Okay. Two different things. Selfishness is not expectation. Because if there's an expectation, you have planned for it, you are prepping for it. Whereas selfishness is what you think for yourself. And when you're selfish, you're not there to grow yourself personally. You're there because you want to gain what will make you feel good. I see it as a temporary feeling. Something that is not long lasting, something that's just going to last for a moment.
Expectations?
Right? No, selfishness.
Okay.
It's something that's going to last for a moment. I would say it's more of a carnal behavior, right? Because when you are selfish, you're thinking what will please you, but you're not looking at what is going to build your spiritual being, right? Because when someone is selfish, they don't care about what goes around them.
Yeah.
There was a question that was thrown before this podcast started that, can you give while being selfish? Are you able to give and still play that selfish character or still be selfish? And my opinion or my answer, nobody should at me, please. I don't believe that you can give and still be selfish, because even in the Bible it says that do not demonstrate your righteousness in front of them for them to see, because then your reward will not come from God, right? So if you're giving, it needs to come from your heart. If you're giving and you're selfish, it's because there's that recognition that you want. You want everyone to see that, yes, I gave this person 1K, or that is not being a giver. That is just your personal gain. You just want to feel that recognition. It's a manipulation. But if you're giving out of your heart, there is no ounce of selfishness. So if we're looking at expectation and selfishness, it's two different things. Expectation is something that you're planning for. You've planned for it. It's what you want to see come to reality. And if you have expectations with a partner, it's something that you will communicate. And if there is no selfish interest, you guys will work together to make sure that expectation comes to reality, right? If you're selfish, you don't care about your expectation. You care about what is going to satisfy you for a moment. That is you being selfish. But if you're looking at expectation, it's something that you've planned. It's something that you are ready. You've prepared yourself mentally, physically for that to come to reality. It's like Shiloh sacrifice or your Shiloh expectation. They say write your expectation. And it's not, for example, someone will write the expectation, oh no, this is what I want, a car in the next 2 years. Right? And for you to bring that to your reality, for you to bring it to reality, you're gonna work on it. You're gonna work towards getting a car. There are some things that you're gonna have to put in place. There are things that you're gonna have to sacrifice, because in that expectation, you want God to be involved, right? Because in the Bible it says that if you're paraphrased, if you're given a sacrifice, it has to hurt you. It has to pain you, because then it shows that you are really ready to do anything for that expectation to come in play.
Right.
I don't know if I've answered it properly, no.
Right.
But
Did you have anything to say on that?
inputs?
Precious, do you have anything to say regarding that?
To add on that, okay, this is not a debate, right? All right.
Okay.
So, I had something to say, just a short thing. So yes, you could give, according to my own perspective, you could give, even when you're not selfish, or when you're selfish, right? Yeah, you could also give, even when you're not selfish. Why am I saying so? Because most probably there's some things that you want to benefit from the person, and you might not display the selfishness character, and yeah, it might not from the heart, or you might not do that with good intention of giving or coming from the heart that, okay, I'm giving this. And well, for an example, there's people that they could do something good for someone else and still talk behind the back to other people that I've helped that person. I'm the one who did this. I'm the one who did that, so that they can,
Claim
yeah,
that.
you understand, right? Yes, that's possible. Where we are two different people, and there are people doing that. The difference is that, yeah, does it come from the heart or not? But yes, they do. There are people that do give without or being selfish as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to add on that.
Okay.
It's not a debate, just to get everyone's input. So, to what Jay said, you can give and still be selfish. but why are you giving?
Mm.
Why
Okay.
do you want to give? Okay,
Because
you're
of
giving
love.
because wait, you're giving because you want people to see you.
Mhm.
But in the long run, what does it do for you?
Okay. All right. What Precious want to say?
Um, I think what I wanted to add was two things. Scripturally speaking, now going to the Bible says that God said, "The thoughts which I have for you
You're not.
are of good and not of evil." Now, very important part, to give you an expected
Expected
end.
end.
So now, what I have understood in the truth of love, not a debate like everybody is saying, is
Disclaimer.
that is that true love or God's love. Now, is the love that upon getting in, you already have assurance. Assurance gives birth to expectations, right? So the assurance I have, which only comes also, remember, out of trust, right? And remember that trust is not built in one day, which is why for every Christian, we always still go back, forgetting the expected end. We always still fall. Same reason people actually get into a relationship and they actually find someone who is genuine, who has love for them, who may not be selfish. Let's play a little scenario here. Someone who is not selfish, right? I understand the selfish person who can give. It's possible, like my brother said. As for me, one thing I can say genuinely, you can be selfish and give. You can be selfish and be in love. You can be selfish and have a lasting relationship.
Honestly.
Honest
Thank you.
truth.
Now you're
That's the
talking
honest
my
truth.
perspective.
And when it comes to love, I've understood that it's a decision. For example, the reason why most relationships last long is because someone in that relationship actually has a genuine love
True.
than the other.
True.
Honest truth.
100%.
There will never be two people who
Or
are
be
equally
equally
loved
loved.
at the same. It's a lie.
Never.
But when there is a relationship that is successful, it means one person at one point. Now, this is what I mean. Plays a higher part of the decision
lower
of
version of
love
the other side.
to the other person's decision of love in this season. For example, when your lady is shouting and she's in a moment of emotion, like our sister did highlight, they are fire, we are water, right? I'm still coming back to that one later in another episode. But like, for example, right now, we operate by decision, natural instinct. Women operate by emotions. Now, remember, for a man, he thinks emotions change, bro. I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
For a woman, she feels, in this now, I want to feel that. It's so painful, you know? And in that season, if the man's love, a decision to choose to say, I'm not thinking about myself right now. Hence why I'm now saying, at the long run, if you truly get into relationship, like love, selfishness, even if you came in with it, let's just imagine, even if you came in with it, as you go through the journey, it begins to
Thank you.
it begins to go
Thank
like
you.
this. Because for me, truth is, at some point, right, I'm like, okay, wait, this lady has her plan. Tomorrow morning, guys, let's play. Can I just put a small spice to this? Do you remember the fact that when you're in a relationship, 60% of everything you begin to think about a relationship is not yours, it's outside influence. So at the first point when you're in love, yeah, the
It's
feeling
you.
is covering up, you know, and everything. Then it begins to hit. Hey, my bra, there was this guy I saw, he was in a relationship. That's how they broke his heart. Bam. Are you understand? You go through YouTube or you go through
see another
and you
life.
see some guy talking out of bitterness. Now we must all still talk about the fact that some people are selfish because of past relationships. Right? Some people are selfish because they are coming out of homes where they have seen, like, maybe their mother being maltreated, for example, their father being, you know, whatever, you know. I don't want to give different kind of scenarios, but we all understand the stories of life. So due to these, people develop a selfish interest for love. Oh, when I am going to be in love,
This must be.
this
the place.
must, you know. And there's a statement I heard that is so profound, and I want to repeat it. The person said, expectations not communicated is resentment waiting to happen.
Yeah.
True.
So now, if we're speaking of expectations and even the selfish interest, at the end of the day, if they are really in a relationship, they can destroy the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know why it's hard for us to follow Christ?
Now you're coming on my part. Thank you.
You know why it's hard for us to follow Christ? It's because the truth is, you have expectations of Him.
And you felt that sometimes it's
and
not
you
being
feel
met
like He's not doing it.
Yeah.
So you're like, bro, I've been praying for the past 2 days, man. Like, come on. You say you're close by here. You remember? Promises, assurances, they play in your head. So you're there like, oh, but God, you're there. But God, you said you'll be there in time of trouble. And then it hits you. Yes, it's there, but it doesn't have to meet your expectations. It's a thing whereby He now needs to meet what you need. And that's what actually happens in marriage and relationship and love. The person will never really meet your expectation. They will only be meeting what you need them for at that moment. For example, a lady begins to fall in love with a man because in the moment he came into her life, she was feeling down, she was feeling depressed, maybe going through something, and then now he begins to be a provider. He doesn't have any particular assurance or words he has spoken. He's just playing the part of a provider. Now the sight of her seeing him as a provider begins to open her heart to him. Right? But now watch this. The day he stops that thing, there's going to be a problem.
You no longer love me.
Thank you. You start hearing, you no longer love me. You know, that's why I said selfishness and expectations. For me, I feel like if you really want to enjoy a relationship, you go into a relationship or you go into a marriage or into love with a mind whereby anything actually can happen. Number one. Number two. Okay, I'm talking too long. I'm going to cut it short. Number two, I'm going to end with what I in Philippians chapter 2, what the Bible said. It said, if there is any hope in Christ, any consolation at all in Christ, if there is any joy we should find in Christ, is that no man should do anything in selfishness or with selfish ambitions, but in lowliness of mind. So you must remember that every day this person is talking to you, they are already telling you whatever selfish interest they have. Fact. Every day I'm telling you I love you. Remember, I love you. It's because of myself, because I want to be loved back, because I also want to experience love. You don't give what you don't have. So the law already states that it means I have to have enough of it to give it. Okay, I think I'm done.
And for it to be full is that I receive it back.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let me start with this. There's this
I'm itchy. Like
you want to say something? Okay.
I wanna speak so badly.
Please speak. Please let me not take it.
No, like
say
you know, it's still going back to the selfishness. Like it's still pondering selfishness.
Exists, right? Or it doesn't exist.
No, it's there.
Okay.
It's there. With what Precious said, selfishness is there.
Okay.
But there is the good one and there's the bad one. There is selfishness. That's what I'm saying.
Sorry to cut you short. From the beginning of the podcast, that had been my ground. Like, I'm saying there is selfishness. Look at it from the bad perspective and look at it from the good perspective. Hence, I laid the foundation that from the point a guy asks you out, that is not a harmful selfishness. Is of its essence is an expected selfish interest. That is what I've been building on. There is an expected selfish interest that if this selfish interest is not there, there is no reason for the continuity. That is what I said from episode 1. Is that selfish interest that gives the longevity. It doesn't necessarily have to be harmful. It doesn't necessarily have to be detrimental to your partner.
The problem was selfish. That was just
the word.
Yeah, the word.
Because
but whether you like it or not, it is what it is.
Yeah. And I think with everyone speaking, it actually opens the understanding of that selfishness.
Yeah.
The selfishness is there, no doubt, right? But it's how it's going to be played out. And that's where the self-care comes in.
Yeah.
It's how it's going to be played out. The selfishness is there. but how is it going to be played? And communication needs to come in, because as much as that selfishness is there, if there is no communication, that relationship, there's going to be resentment, there's going to be argument. Communication is very important. That is the one thing I personally, in relationship, it is very important.
Okay.
Not that I want to force you to communicate, but you need to see the picture. Why communication is important. Selfishness is there, it's not bad. It's how you play that selfishness. In other words, self-interest. It is there. Let's agree. Let's agree to disagree that it is there. But it's how you play it out. And that's where that miscommunication comes in.
All right. True.
You may be saying, like with what Precious said, oh, the girl wants this, I want that. But how did the man communicate? How did he approach what he was saying? Did it come off from a negative selfish interest or from a positive selfish interest? So that understanding is what everyone confuses.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, can I shake it too?
Wait,
Well, I just wanted to ask a question.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe pardon.
Okay.
So being selfish, is it a decision or a choice, or is it impossible not to be selfish?
Okay.
Yeah, please break it down for me. I mean, we're helping others, obviously.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah,
Is it impossible
Not
to be selfish?
in a
And
relationship.
can we actually be in a relationship without any iota of selfishness?
We are humans.
Okay.
We are humans. Like, the flesh.
Like I said, everybody navigating to myself.
The flesh is very hungry.
Thank you.
Emphasis back on temporal feeling,
Okay.
temporal gratification.
Okay.
The flesh is hungry.
Okay.
You are gonna display. It's not a choice. It's how you feel.
All right.
It's that greediness that you want that's gonna just make you feel that satisfaction, but it's not gonna last for long. It's not gonna last for long. So that selfishness is not a choice. Should I say it's a spirit? Because we operate in spirit. Hey, you get selfishness as a spirit. You get all kind of things that are spirits, right? Because we operate in spirit. Our body is just there to, it's just there, yeah.
Carry out.
But we operate in a spirit, and it depends on how our soul communicates, right? If our soul is not in line with our spirit being, because the devil cannot, should I say, he cannot manipulate your spirit. He cannot. It's your soul that he can manipulate. And from that manipulation, it then plays out. How strong is your spirit to overcome that thing?
Yeah.
How strong is it? So it's not a choice. It's a spirit that is in you. And as a person, you need to also build your spirit, because your spirit plays in so many aspects of your life. Relationship, personal growth, everything. Your spirit plays a role. So if you have not groomed your spirit, yes, there's going to be arguments in relationship, because now you're not thinking from a spiritual mindset. You're speaking from the carnal side.
Okay.
You speaking on what is going to make you feel good. What is, oh no, I think that this is how it's going to be. But is that really how wisdom should be played out in that?
Wow. Just, it's getting hot. It's getting hot.
All right. Guys, can you feel the
Okay.
heat?
If I may add to what she said, right? Truth is, for me, disclaimer, don't come for me. I actually believe there is a maturity you can reach, like she emphasized. 2 points: emotionally and spiritually, that can make it possible for you to be in love and be selfless from the get-go. Truth is, okay, this might make us, I don't want to get into it, but I just want to state that 90% of the reason why we have so many faulty people in relationships today is because of bad homes.
Okay.
So already the mentality from home are wrong. So they did not have an opportunity to even grow the spirit and their mind to develop to the right mentality to get into a relationship. So they're actually coming from unhealed traumas, unhealed expectations, unreal pictures of what love is. Many people are selfish in love because of the picture they have of love.
Mm.
So
So
that is
true.
there. So, but like, it is possible, in my opinion. It is possible.
So from what you say, I'd initially wanted to say something. So a relationship counselor had two couples came to her for relationship advice, and the necessary step to take it to speak with them individually, then collectively. So firstly, she told the man, write out all your expectations. Then she told the lady also, write out all your expectations, all you expected of him, write them out. Now, after they've written a whole long list, she discovered that the problem they are having is actually the expectations. Now he told them individually, clean your name from that list, write the name of your partner. So that means your expectation becomes his expectation, his expectation. Now see how you're going to meet that expectation. If you can meet those expectations. Now it becomes so difficult for you to meet the expectation you have from other person, because first of all you are selfish.
Yeah.
Again, guys, I'm saying selfish interest here is not a gun on the head. Okay, it's not detrimental, but I'm saying inherent, quietly, we are subtly, we have that selfish interest that have germinated into expectations.
Yeah.
All right. Like you said, or you made a point that is it possible to love without having selfish interest? Let me give for example. You go to you go for fishing, right? How do you catch a fish? You tell the fish I love you, right? And in the layman thing on the street, they'll say, look at fishes. They're talking about ladies, right? And if they want to catch fish, what they want to do, they look at what they get like and they throw the fish.
Yeah.
That is just on the streets way. I'm saying you tell the fish I love you, you give the fish food, and the fish is happy. Oh, they have been fed, not knowing that what you have a selfish interest and you catch you caught the fish. Now what now plays out as a selfish interest is not really a selfish interest. It's you hunting. It's you wanting to feed your hunger. Everybody have that hunger that is selfish interest. Take a lion going out for a gaming. A lion kills another animal. It's a selfish interest. This is death. You just cost the life of another animal. But to the lion, the survivor, it doesn't care. That is selfish interest. All I'm saying, it's all from a perspective, it's all from understanding. Now, having said that, let me say this. Selfish is interest not treated is sickness. It becomes a psychological and a mental sickness because you don't know when it now drives you to end your relationship. Okay, the cause of selfishness ranges from different factors. Now I'm going to list the factors. First of all, your background plays a huge role on what you consider a selfishness. Secondly, your environment. Thirdly, I would say either your exposure or your friends. Okay? Words are seed, right? When you are in a circle of people who have a certain kind of belief, let's say, as a lady, you're in a circle of ladies who have this kind of belief that a man have to provide 100%, take care of all your needs. If you have that mentality, it becomes a selfish interest. So even if you have, you don't want to bring out. Okay? They ask a lady, if you have $200,000 and your husband have $20,000, how much does the household have? She said $20,000. What would you call that? Nigerian? That is selfish interest. Now, if you examine that lady perfectly well, that selfish interest can either be two things: either her background or the kind of friend she has. Right? Where she feels that hey, when she grow in a home that man, if you not they provide for you, leave if he doesn't provide for you, leave that home. I just spoke in the Nigerian understanding. Leave that home or leave that guy. Okay, it's his responsibility to meet every need. I'm not saying it's not a man's responsibility. I'm saying is have a balanced
Contribute.
perspective of life.
Mm.
Contribute. Okay, and then my own take on this selfishness, guys. I'm not a bad person. I'm speaking the mind of somebody out there.
Disclaimer.
Yes, because this channel doesn't portray the perspective of somebody's idea. Neither does it portray the perspective of my idea.
No.
It's just a collective understanding. Okay, we're trying to talk about the norm outside there, and that is what we're going to be doing fully in this channel. That's why it's called the Hub of Truth. This is a hub where we want to bring the truth as much as we are able to, so that people see. We want to make everything bare, open to the outside.
Yeah.
And you experience some things in your relationship, you actually don't know the cause. You see some things happening in a home, you actually don't know the cause. But meanwhile, in depth, you have not really considered, is this actually expectations or selfishness? Now, I had earlier said, can you meet expectations, or can selfishness be satisfied, or can selfishness be satisfied? You said that you matured in life to a certain extent where you become selfless. That is when your spirit becomes one with Christ. Now I'm going spiritual.
Yeah.
I've been speaking like the layman. Now I want to go spiritual. Taking religion outside, I'm not religious in my understanding. In my
Yeah.
exposure, I'm very not religious. I'm either spiritual or leave me
Yeah.
alone. Yeah.
No, it's true.
I'm either
Also add
spiritual
to
or
that.
leave me alone.
Yeah,
You
that's
okay?
the way to go.
So, from Christ's perspective, from his teaching to us of love, he said God is love, and if you do not know God, you do not know love. So,
Yeah.
if I must know love, I must first of all know God. So that if I come to you to say I love you, I'm indirectly telling you that I have known God.
That's it. That's it.
Word.
Word. Yes,
I'm
sir.
indirectly telling you that I have known love.
Hmm.
And one of the characteristic of love is selflessness. Another characteristic of love is kindness.
Love is
Another
kind.
characteristic of love is patience.
Love is patience.
Another very vital characteristics of love is what? Is sacrifice.
Yep. Sacrificial love.
So
Sacrificial
even
love.
if I come into the relationship with my selfishness, anybody comes into the relationship with their selfishness, because I have to nail that on the cross. I have to sacrifice that selfishness on the cross
Yes, sir.
and become Christ-like. I feel like preaching right now.
Come on now.
That's where the dying comes in.
Yeah.
There will not be need for dying daily if there's no selfishness. If there's no selfishness. Now, taking back to episode 1 where Precious made mention of dying daily. That is where I'm building on now. You don't need to die daily if you are not selfish.
Yes, sir.
There is no need, there's no place to become one with Christ and one with your partner if you were not selfish. So it is because of that selfishness that is translating, that is transfiguring you to selflessness on the altar of love, that you become what? Selfless.
Word. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's true.
Digest.
Okay.
Feeling it. I'm feeling it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Jay, you've been in a relationship.
Yes, sir.
I would definitely say everyone here has been in a
I
relationship.
beg go.
Did they call your name?
I didn't call your name.
Did they call your name?
Is it
It's your
everyone?
name, everyone.
Did they call your
It's your
name?
name, everyone. It's your name, everyone.
All
So
right.
what I'm saying is, there have been experiences that mold you to who you have become right now.
Yeah.
If you tell me that you are selfless, I don't want to look at you from your selflessness. Tell me when you were selfish. How did you become selfless?
Mm.
Okay. At what point did you recognize that you were selfish and become selfless? At what point did you die to yourself to say, I am loving unconditionally? So that's the reason why if you must engage someone in relationship, if you must go into a relationship with that person, you must first see Christ or God in that person. So they will be able to give out love.
Bars.
If they don't have God in them, you can't sell God to them.
Calm down, Pastor. Calm down, sir. Please don't preach. Thank you.
So I have to see a reflection of what I'm giving to you. That is the God in you. That is the love in you.
Yes.
So if you don't have God and I'm giving you love, it's like me pouring water in a basket. I will be exhausted. I'm going to drain. I'll keep pouring and pouring. The idea of everyone is like we are all like a pipe. We connect to God who is love, and love pours out from us. So if you are not another pipe, we can't fill this tank that is before us, which is our relationship. Then I'll keep pouring to you like a basket. It keep flowing out.
I have a question.
Yes.
God is love. So, in the case where it's so hard because life is unfair. Life is so unfair. In the case whereby you come in and you're not selfish, why I say that, you give in your all. You love this person with all and everything in you. You're not greedy. And most of the time, you think of that person first before yourself. And in that scenario, you are draining yourself, but you still keep on going on loving the person. You don't care about your. Well, I won't say you won't. I don't say you don't care about yourself, but you want to make sure you don't want you like. Okay, let me speak from a personal point of view. I've been in a relationship where I gave everything, because with me, when I love with everything. I give my. I don't know how to be. I don't know. I don't like drama. I don't like me with arguments. I will be that person to like. It's okay. It's fine. I hate arguments. I hate. If I have to categorize myself in a relationship, I'm more of the water. As much as females are categorized as the fire element, I see myself as water. I don't like argument. Like people that know me, my energy is a lot. I have too much energy. I love with everything. I love to the point whereby my love is not diluted. I love without diluting. My sister said this to me. She's like, you love to the point whereby you don't even dilute yourself. And those things hit me because
the effect of having a raw love, it become coerced to the next person who doesn't have equal.
All right.
So how do you then where is the selfishness, or how do you work on yourself so that you don't end up being the person that is taking all that heat, but you're not coming in selfish, you're coming in raw? Or is it that the person that you came in with, God is not in them? Because if you know God, you know love.
All right. I would like to quickly attempt that because I was cooking up a question, right?
Okay.
And I'm just going to throw my question for maybe next time. I was cooking up a question in the terms of what you're saying because for me, right, I still go back to something. Love has an order.
Okay.
I'm sorry. If anybody doesn't agree, you go. But as for me, I believe love has an order. Order being, like you said, in Christendom, let's bring it down here to scriptures. God is love. He put a man to understand the love so he can then know how to love a woman.
Mhm.
Then she interprets it to her children,
Mm.
and the cycle continues. Remember, every order must have a working process system.
Mm.
Now, back to this, where she's saying that you come raw. Every one of us, the first experience of love, before your heart got broken, you were not evil. Can I repeat? Before your heart got broken, you were not evil. When I mean evil, I mean suddenly after you got heartbroken, you started thinking. You see, that's where the selfishness comes from. You started thinking, no, I gotta protect myself first thing first.
Mm.
So the moment, remember, love is a place where you should be vulnerable.
Yeah.
So meaning, me being vulnerable means I want to let go of myself. That's where the process of selflessness comes in, right? In the order of Christianity. But now, because many of us, especially guys, I'm sorry to say, don't actually understand what love is. We go to women with what we think society has defined as love. And you're shattering a lady who has, like she said, raw love. Now, she's going to protect herself. She's going to be more at least standardized because now the last time she opened up to someone who maybe she did not even have any form of expectations, selfishness, anything, standards, so to say, she was heartbroken, or he was heartbroken. This time around, you know what they're going to do? They're going to sit down, have a thought process, and say, okay, the next person, you have to be like this. You have to be like this. That's selfishness coming in now. Because now you're thinking about things that will benefit you. Because you don't want to give your all like that
before.
anymore, like before. So now what happens is we keep on creating generation by generation worse versions of love. Love in these days now is just you're a guy, you have money, you're at that point able to love. Do you know that's what most guys believe? When I have money, I have love. I can now get yes, I'm ready to love. I can now love. But the actual point of love is unconditional, meaning when you have money, you don't have money, it's not okay, you're okay, nothing is going fine. You're choosing the same person over and over again. So most times, it's not that we don't have the ability to still love like that again, but many times because of many brokenness that happens in our heart, we begin to lose the nature of what true love is. So now you begin to understand love based on societal views, experiential views, and so many other things like that. So my last question was now like, if we're talking about selfishness, I think one of the greatest selfishness that has been displayed on earth is women coming to ask men out.
Say that again. Say that again. Say that again.
Oh my goodness.
I said if we're talking about selfishness in relationships and why they don't last, I think one of the biggest form of selfishness that has been expressed is women going to meet men and ask them out. Because most women that go to do that because of what they see in the guy.
That's true. I agree to that.
The heat.
100%.
Next episode, please. Yeah.
Do you want to say that? Do you want to talk about that in the next episode?
Yes, please.
Okay. Are we guys ready for that? Women asking men out. Okay. All right. So we're gonna do that. All right. So you made mention when we were giving your experience. I want to bring or not before your experience. So when you become selfless, you drain.
Yes.
Yeah.
You drain.
And you must drain into something.
You lose yourself. So that is why before you go into a relationship with anybody, I mean anybody, you must first of all consider value, purpose, and intention.
Say it louder one more time, sir.
Before you go into a relationship, you must first of all consider value,
1,
purpose,
2,
and intention.
3. Yes, sir.
So, firstly is value. What are your core value? All right. What is your purpose? And what is your intention? Now, if I know this, when I begin to give myself my selfishness to become selfless, I am not losing because I know these three values serves me also. Because while I'm giving my all, I'm becoming.
Now go.
While I'm expelling, while my works are going, they are evolving, I'm becoming.
That's it.
If you allow it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
if you allow it.
that's what I'm saying. If you allow it, and there's no way you will allow it and become selfless. You can't become selfless without allowing it. What I'm saying is, let's give an instance. Hey God, this comes to my mind. I wanted to mention it before. So a woman who want to marry a pastor is selfish.
Please, let's not go there.
There's something I wanted to say that brought back the gain. Okay. You can't wake up to say, I want to marry a pastor. That just came out. It came out while we're in this episode. I don't know how it escaped me. So if he's coming back, that means it needs to be said. Viewers, if you have intended, this is not for you. I don't have you in mind. It just came out. Okay. Why do I say it? Is the intention behind it?
Yeah.
Why do you want to
Marry the pastor.
Do you see that as a purpose fulfilled? Is that really a purpose that you are called to do, or you just is for the shenanigan?
Yeah, the power.
Is the courtesy that is being accorded to the wife of a pastor? Is the respect that is being accorded to the wife of a pastor? Is that your reason, or you truly called to serve? The truth is that if you are truly called to serve, the pastor will find you in your serving. He will find you in you doing that, not you saying it and aiming at the pastor. That's by the way. That's by the side. What I'm trying to say, what brought about that is, if the purpose is known, if the value is known, if the intention is known, that means it also serves my purpose. It also serves my intention. It also serves my value. So when I'm giving my all to the purpose I have seen that is my purpose. So I'm not just serving you, I'm serving us. I'm becoming my purpose. I'm becoming my core value. I am serving my core interest while I came in. So even if I'm waxing into what I want to become in my purpose. So that means purpose must first be known before you are saying yes to a man. So we are driving on the line of purpose. So even if anything happens, we are still in the purpose. Let's say we fall out of love, the purpose keeps us. Let's say we are not in our feelings, the purpose keeps us. Whew.
Come on.
A lot has been said today. All right, guys. We are gradually rolling for the day. We have said a lot. I know you have watched. I know you have listened. Some part have made a point to you. Some part has taken. I believe everyone has said, spoke the mind of someone out there. Whatever your thought is, whatever your input is, please leave it on the comment section. Do not forget to like, share, comment, and also we will also like to know your perspective. So write it out, put it on the comment section, tell others, tell a friend to tell a friend about this podcast, and next time we'll see you again. Now, my host said we would like to have the talk on women asking men out.
Is it biblical?
We're going to treat all that. Is it biblical? Is it right? Should it be done? Should it not be done? And in the scripture back then, I think is in Isaiah. I don't know if it's in chapter 1 when he said, at the end of time, 10 women will hold on to the cloth of one man to say, let us bear your name.
You are spoiling it already. Let's go.
Teaser to teaser. It's teasing.
Yeah. I just gave you guys a tip. So guys, catch us next episode, same channel. It's gonna be very interesting. This is just a tip of an iceberg. Okay, we just warming the blanket, and I believe you've enjoyed yourself. Thank you for staying tuned and see you guys.